Hey, what's going on, you guys? Bring your friends here. I wanted to give a quick build update. So before I was running Dueling Inspiration Mirage, so I was running Duelist Discipline, Blind Dissipation, and Ineptitude. And now I swapped it up to Illusions. There's a couple of reasons why. With the Dueling build, even though it did a lot of confusion damage, and I almost felt it was more of a defensive type of, not necessarily defensive build, but the blind basically was very versatile. You could stomp with it. You stacked a lot of confusion, yes, but you didn't really have that many cover condies. You had to rely on swapping over to Axe and dealing conditions that way after you did your initial burst with Cry Frustration. Sure, you had bleeding, but it wasn't directly correlated to the shatter. Not to mention that obviously this build stacked a lot of bleeds, but the thing is, with Master Fencer for the Fury to be activated, you had to have, it required a threshold of 75%, so it wasn't really too optimal. Not to mention, just bleeding in general didn't really do that much damage as compared to Torment. So going over to Illusions, I picked Shatterstorm, Maim, and Master Fragmentation for several reasons. When it comes to picking Shatterstorm or Pledge, I personally feel that Shatterstorm, one, does more damage, and two, is more viable. One, because when it comes to the Pledge, sure, on Phantasmal Mage you get Nearby Burning, 4100 damage, but it's over 12 and a quarter second. In my experience, if you have such a long duration for such minimal damage, chances are it's not going to be cleansed, or it is going to be cleansed, and you're not going to see that damage from it. You will see the 1300 damage over 4-second burning with the Prestige, and the torch cooldown doesn't really make too much difference with the recharge reduced. As with Shatterstorm, you get a minimal base damage of 250 and 500 if moving, which is assuming that your target's going to be moving at all times. It's going to do a lot more damage than bleeding. Not to mention that you get multiple shatters out of it, which synergizes also pretty well with Restorative Illusions. So that's more damage you're doing with max clones and another Condi that you can potentially cleanse off in the midst of fighting someone. In terms of Main the Disillusion's always good. It's pretty much a no-brainer here. Escape Artist doesn't really do anything. Phantasmal Haste is not really for this build, but it's still pretty good. But always Main the Disillusion because you can do Torment regardless of what shatter you're in. And then Master Fragmentation is basically a upgraded Master Fencer. You get the 25% crit when you need it. You cripple foes on hits, so you don't have to rely on Axe 2 to cripple your foes. You can just do it all through Cry of Frustration. So it does Confusion, Cripple, and Torment. And then Diversion, AoE, daze up to 5 targets. Distortion, Reflect projectiles. You don't really benefit from this too much. In fact, it's almost a disadvantage depending on what situation you're in. For example, if you're using Signet of Midnight, and you have a ranger just pew-pewing on you, for example, it's not really too beneficial to hit Signet of Midnight to go into stealth because you'll just reflect his projectile and you'll get revealed, so that could potentially kill you, so you have to watch out for that. In terms of the rotation, I wouldn't really change anything up from the rotation I had before. Just Prestige into Sword 3, into Mage. While he's in mode, you get the Mirage Thrust into another Phantasm, full Distortion. Then you go in your Axe, build up clones into Cry of Frustration. Obviously, it'd do a lot more damage if he was activating skills, but you get the point. I think that's pretty much it. Same amulet, Wizard Amulet. If you want to go very safe, you could Red Sages as before. Double Energy, Smoldering, Doom, always Rune Adventure, that's pretty much a given. And yeah, pretty much the same rotations as everything like that before. The only thing I would suggest changing if you wanted to be have more condition clear, even though you have just Giga Clear, you could swap out Medic's Feedback for Sympathetic Visage, but that's pretty much it. And yeah, I'm just going to make it short and sweet. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you have any comments, questions, leave them in the box below. But other than that, I'll probably release a couple more videos here soon of the gameplay it's been a while since I've actually been actively uploading content to the channel. Just a lot of stuff to do. So hopefully you guys forgive me for that. But as always, thanks for watching. It's Countless Bring your friends. I'll see you guys.